Okay, good morning all. My watch is saying it's 9:30 here in Rauma, Finland. So we are about to start the SME Aisle project final online seminar. And we are having the project partners here in Rauma. And the participants are online in Teams. And we are doing also recording and videoing, so there will be YouTube videos for this event for future use. So I'm Minna Keinänen-Toivola, and I have been leading this project from the very beginning, from the application phase. And I'm presenting you first the overview, what the SME Aisle project has been. Then we will have the presentations of the partners on their work role. Today we are also launching the SME Aisle ePlatform. We will have aspects of the stakeholders, and then we will discuss generally on export activities outside EU markets. So you are warmly welcome to this final online seminar, and we are getting to my presentation. So SME Aisle, with the title Export of Central Baltic Economic Strengths, Shipbuilding, Maritime, Renewable Energy, Automation and ICT to Namibia as a stable point of entry to the Southern African markets. And our main aim has been how we can support the Central Baltic Maritime Cluster and especially small and medium-sized enterprises to enter to a very new market but promising market, Southern Africa. And the project started in March 2018, and originally we were supposed to end on 21, but as we all know, COVID hit us heavily, so now the project is ending by end of August. And we have had financing from the Central Baltic Interreg program, and total budget has been 1.7 million euros. So we have different aspects for the SME Aisle project. So first of all, we have the project partners and companies from Central Baltic area. So from Finland, Estonia, Latvia and Sweden. On the other hand, the target market and our cooperation area is the Southern African markets, especially Namibia, South Africa and Zambia. We have also various themes that we have been working on, so shipbuilding and maritime, logistics, renewable energy, automation and ICT. So of course there has been various activities. So not just supporting the companies who have been involved in our project. So we have had, I think, 400 small and medium-sized enterprises interlinked for the project, and especially important ones has been about 40 companies that have been part of our delegations. So there has been various activities. So we have been doing market analysis, feasibility study. We have developed the concept for the SME Aisle. We have done capacity building for companies. There's been so many different events, both face-to-face and online here in Central Baltic area, as in Southern Africa. We have had the business delegations, and we have had also 2 potential customers visits to Central Baltic area. And this project hasn't been just about information sharing or cooperation, but the target has really been also to have sales for the companies. And our result indicator on that sense is totally 15. Result indicator was 15 sales, and we have already 6 companies who have reached this goal. And we have also companies who have joint ventures established. So a lot of activities, but I think the results are always the key. So I was highlighting a couple of aspects. What are our key results? So of course the sales, so 6 sales and 2 joint ventures to Namibia and Zambia official results, but generally the knowledge on Southern African markets. And as a practical tool, we had really nice cross-border business delegations to Namibia, South Africa and Zambia. And I'm not going to the detail, but the trip, for example, in April 2019 had 31 companies with our delegation, so partners and the companies, various events. So this is what we have seen, that being at the market face to face is the key for success. Another key result, as I was saying, that this project hasn't been just for those companies who have been actively involved, but for the future use. We have established the SME Aisle ePlatform, and Nina Savela is presenting the platform today in more detail. We will have also a Mentimeter questionnaire on that. So shortly, the ePlatform covers information on Central Baltic area and the sectors, but on the other hand, information on Southern African countries and business opportunities. And I've been showing many slides on a lot of activities, but actually I think this is about the people. It has been really heavy times, like for 2 years, just having all these online events. But making business together, it's about the cooperation, it's about the people. And I was personally thinking that in this project, my role has been just a kind of leading, and there has been a very active team. But still the interaction that we have had between us human beings, that has been the greatest value for this cross-border cooperation. So great memories, and really hoping that globally we will get back to the normal this face-to-face activities. So having the business and the cooperation further again face-to-face. And I'm already at this point of the online finance seminar highlighting that we have had really great partners supporting our companies. So we were also dividing the companies country-wise. So for example, Taltech Emera has been responsible for Estonian companies and so on. So there's been a kind of this close connection for small and medium-sized enterprises. So without the partners and the everyday work everyone has been doing, it wouldn't be possible to have all the great results we have had so far and the business cooperation. So SME Aisle, I must say, it has been a success case so far, but there are really broad opportunities also for the future in Southern African markets. And our program is now continuing with the presentations of the SME Aisle partners. So we are going to more deep details on the role of different project partners, what they have done over the years. So this is general presentation on SME Aisle, and then I'm asking Dainis from MASOC to introduce what MASOC has been doing in Latvia and in broader context with the SME Aisle team. So please.
Okay, should I check this mic?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really happy to see all of you here, and also all those colleagues, friends, partners who are watching us online. So I hope all of you have a great day today. And thank you for being the first to share our experience within this wonderful project. And just at the same time, I would like to say thank you again to our leading partner, Satakunta University, to Minna, to my colleagues, to Nina and Heikki and Matti and all the others. Sorry not to mention all of us, all of you, and Tina. without your support, it would not be possible to realize all the things what we have done so far. Just in this short presentation, I will just pay the small attention to the methods, a little bit, not academically, but just how we were approaching the markets. And I'm representing Association of Mechanical Engineering and Metalworking Industries of Latvia, and we are one of the partners within this project. So what is association? So as you can see, we are an association which unites leading companies in engineering and metalworking industry in Latvia. We are more than 160 companies at this point of time. We are a so-called industry ecosystem representing interests of its members. So we are working in close cooperation with them, and we are making considerable part of our country's economy as well. So, and we were invited to take part in this project, SME Aisle. Yeah, well, again, so probably everyone knows what is all about this project, SME Aisle. As you can see, from the early beginning, we were asked participate to join the trip to Namibia as a stable point of entry to Southern African markets. And I have to say that we were very excited, of course, and we are very it sounded a bit strange, because why Namibia? So as you can see, so that the stereotype which a lot of us had from the early beginning, so because Namibia, it's really very was a not too much population, deserts, and what shall we do there? So what is the reason? But in fact, of course, as we know, then Namibia is a well-developed and nice, beautiful country, and we just made sure ourselves that we really kind of felt in love with this country. And again, so it's economically stable, it's politically stable, and I would like to encourage everyone, well, not everyone, but it is worth to pay attention to this wonderful country and to go in business in Namibia. So that's why we went to Namibia. And then the basic question, what to offer, because the project told us that we are concentrating on ICT, on renewable energy and automation, and of course we have a lot of things to offer, and from our country, although our country is small and it's in a way comparable to Namibia in terms of number of population and so on. And in the picture you can see that the Namibian delegation was visiting one of our leading engineering companies, Peruza in Latvia. So, and we really found the things what we could offer. And of course we understood, and I think that every company just trying to enter different export markets, they have to face different challenges, like operational environment which is unknown, different business culture, distances, distribution, local support which is of critical importance, and so on. Okay, but the main issue, of course, was not just to sell the product. So, of course, we're talking about transferring the technology, and we wanted to find partners in this country rather than just to go and sell something. And of course, the thing what we always have to take in mind, we took in mind, and I would encourage the others also to do the same. So do not sell the product, but meet the demand, because in every market, in every country, demands might be different. And we have to find out what the demands are and follow those kind of prerequisites. And before, as you can see, so we have to meet with the customers. And here in one picture, we have met with the customers in Namibia. And so making again the presentations like this one. And on the second picture, on the right side, you can see the Namibian delegation visiting one of our companies, TTS, in Latvia, and they were very excited and have found different ways how to cooperate together and even to go further on kind of common projects. So far we have been, like, since 2019, 13 Latin enterprises visited Namibia. And unfortunately, the COVID made a lot of differences for all businesses. And well, we had a lot of plans, and hopefully those plans will be resumed during this year and the coming years as well. So, and just if we talk just in a few words about the association, what what we have done, also in terms of this project. So, together we from Latvia we are working together with LCCI, which is a Chamber of Commerce of Latvia, and my colleague from the chamber will tell the story a bit later. So. We took care of travel accommodation budgets and so on. In the meantime, we were supporting all the companies that were kind of interested to travel to Namibia and to find the new export markets. So you can see just a few of them, like company Perusa, and we have a project of fish processing factory. Hopefully we can restore it again. So Regula Baltia, this is document authenticity control machines, also installed in Windhoek airport. TTS, transport systems for the salt factory, currently considering the kind of project how to transport the salt from the Walvis Bay salt factory to the harbour. And the Recon harbour equipment, solar PV, the company which made also the joint venture in Namibia for the solar energy projects, and company Gedvillo, just selling not the right word, but sharing with experiences in advanced management techniques like agile, and so to say in this way. So again, we were stopped in some way by COVID, but we didn't stop in our thoughts, in our work. So we have, during this period, we made a lot of preparation. So hopefully, although this is a final seminar, so hopefully we'll be able to resume in some a bit other ways, but still proceed with the business in Namibia. And this is a picture of Namibia. So as you can see that I just took a slogan which originates from the Chinese proverb, which says that every long journey starts with the first step, and this is so obviously true and correct. And we have done this first step together with the SME Aisle team, and together with our friends, partners, and working in our common project. Of course, we have not done everything what we were planning, but again, the long road starts with the first step, and that's all what we know, and we have made this first step, and we will proceed, hopefully. Well, we will proceed, that's for sure. Well, that's for the moment. This is it. My name is Dainis Racenis, representing Association of Metalworking Industry and Machine Building Association of Latvia. I'd like to say thank you for my colleagues from Latvia. So also without their support, it also would be hardly possible to achieve what we have achieved so far. And if someone would be interested in our experience, I would be really happy to share as a person, because our project within association just ends, as unfortunately as we know. But if someone would be interested to proceed, and if someone has some questions, we'll be happy to answer. And thank you, all of you, again. That's it for the moment, and have a lovely day. Thank you.
And our next speaker is Jekaterina from Latvian Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Hello those who joined us today via Microsoft Teams. I'm very excited and nervous at the same time to present Latvian Chamber of Commerce and Industry in this project, because for me, I joined the project almost at the very end. So yes, at first I would like to thank you, our lead partner, for organizing this event, and without you the project I think wouldn't happen. So starting with my presentation, I would like at first provide small information about the Latvian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who we are, why we decided to join the project. And yes, so Latvian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, it's the non-governmental voluntary organization from Latvia, and we unite more than 2,700 companies from different sectors and different regions. So we representing companies, we provide the wide list of services, and we work in very different sectors and areas that also include the business environment, competitiveness, and export, which were the significant topics of the following project. The strongest part of the LCCI is based that we are the members of Euro Chambers and the International Chamber of Commerce, and basically LCCI has been the voice of Latvian companies more than for 85 years. So yes, why we decided to join the project and why it was the honor for us to join the project. LCCI has a wide long-term experience in implementing European Union projects. As well, we are managing the Latvian exports cluster that acts strongly with the project by developing ready-to-use contacts for Latvian companies who are interested to develop exports to Africa. For us, this gave the huge potential and for the Latvian companies as well, furthermore to the Central Baltic region economies. So for us, it were the three main factors. The key benefits for LCCI was to develop and explore potential South African market with the aim to develop and enlarge Latvian company sales. As well, we were the main SME export developer for products and services in Latvia under meta clusters to Namibia and beyond to Southern African markets. And as well, we were responsible, as I mentioned previously, for developing ready-to-use contacts for Latvian companies who are interested in to develop export to Africa. With this presentation, I would like to highlight specific activities that were implemented not only by LCCI as a partner, but with the strong cooperation with other partners from Latvia. So yes, within the project we implement such activities like 3 workshops. We organized 2 incoming visits with the delegations from Namibia. We have the official meetings with the government of Latvia, official meetings with ambassadors and delegations from other African countries. We also organized the raising awareness events among LCCI members for promoting the project. And of course, we, as already was mentioned, that we was actively involved in such activities like developing feasibility studies and developing ePlatform. And of course, this work included the detailed and deep work with the Latvian companies that were involved in the project activities. So yeah, highlighting the specific project activities that were implemented by LCCI and in cooperation with MASOC, here you can see several pictures. The first one, it was from the visit of the Vice President of Namibia to Central Baltic region, which was held in 2019. The second one, it was the incoming delegation from the Namibia, which included, it was the potential customers awareness building round trip also to Central Baltic area, where within these 2 activities, the delegations was informed and they had the opportunity to get to know with the markets of Central Baltic area and what companies from this area can offer to Namibian market. Within the project, we also organized several workshops. This included workshop within tech industry in 2018, workshop on export promoted to Namibia and South Africa. Both activities were implemented in 2018, which was the first year of the project, and it was significantly important to promote the project and project activities and project opportunities. As well, in 2019, we organized the workshop which was called Opportunities to Latvian Enterprises, and it included the visit of a Namibian delegation in 2019 to visit Latvian companies and to get to know what Latvian companies and companies from project can offer to Namibian market. As well as LCCI has the strong cooperation with governmental institutions, for us one of the most important activities that was held, it was in 2019 when the representative of LCCI had the official meeting with the President of Republic of Latvia, Egils Levits. Within this meeting, the project was introduced to the President, and we informed the representative of the government on current cooperation with Namibia and existing opportunities for Latvian companies for developing exports to Namibia and to Southern Africa. As well as I also mentioned that we organized several racing awareness events. It was mostly with the new members of LCCI when we presented our projects. It also included to present SME Aisle. SME Aisle is the project in which they can participate, and we invited them to participate actively. Overall, within this racing awareness activities, were informed about 150 companies from Latvia, and of course we would wanted to promote project to representative from Africa, but to those countries which are outside the target area of our project. Within this, we have these official meetings with ambassadors and delegation mostly from West African countries, which included Ghana, Benin, Nigeria, and from Central Africa, it was Rwanda. Highlighting LCCI activities in the project, we can say that, of course, as it was mentioned previously, due to COVID-19, we weren't able to achieve everything that we planned to achieve, but we also can say that project was very successful, that significant project goals were achieved. For example, we can mention that for Latvian companies were achieved sales agreements and joint ventures, but as the organization who represent Latvian companies, I can tell that at this moment the African market is not so popular among Latvian among LCCI members. Within this, we believe that we need to continue to make this dialogue with the companies to promote the market, because South African and Namibian markets, they provide opportunities for buying raw materials, which I think make this market very popular for Latvian companies as well. And we're also very happy that even though we developed very strong cooperation with all partners within this project, we delighted to see that we were able to develop really strong cooperation also with the Association of Mechanical Engineering and Metalworking Industries of Latvia, who was also the project partner, and we believe that we will be able to continue with this cooperation within other projects and outside the project as well. So at this point, I would like to say thank you for your attention. And thank you for listening. And with this, I will give the floor to the next speakers. Thank you.
Jekaterina, and we continue with the part presentation. So we are having Erko from Taltech, so please. Yours.
Hello everyone, hello partners and hello people from the teams. It's nice to be here. I don't know how is the weather in somewhere else, but in Rauma the weather is good and sunny, so hi. As I said, my name is Erko. I joined with the project 2 years ago when the COVID-19 started, so it's been quite a challenge for me to succeed with this project and organizing all the online events and so on. So I will give a short presentation and overview what we have been done. In this slide, I wanted to tell why Estonian Maritime Academy is the right project partner for SME Aisle. And the reason is since 2007 Estonian Maritime Academy is focusing establishing and developing the Estonian maritime cluster. So I think the Maritime Academy is the best organization who knows the needs of Estonian companies and who will want to export their services and products to other countries. So yeah, this is the main reason. What has been our role in the SME Aisle project? As the other speakers told you that we have had many delegation trips to Namibia, to South Africa, and so on. But also we had a delegation trip to Estonia in 2019. We have had many stands in the local events and example conference, fairs, awareness events and so on. Then we have had face-to-face meetings, of course online meetings and local contact meetings. Example, I think 2020 in autumn we had one face-to-face meeting with a company called Planet 42. They started their business in South Africa, few Estonian guys, and their purpose was to rent the cars to South African people who didn't get the loans from the bank, and they provided the car rental for them, and they have been very successful in they already went to the Mexican market also. So this was a very good meeting and sharing information. I think 11 companies were inactive, and also some of them want to join later during the COVID-19 time, but unfortunately past 2 years we couldn't have the delegation trips to South Africa, Namibia or Zambia, so it's like that. Of course, promoting the SME Aisle project is one of the purpose also. We have had done some feasibility study, research for the markets, and the ePlatform is the latest one, and Nina will give an overview about that, what we have done in past 2 years. This is like paperwork or digital work, and he will introduce you that. Here are some pictures. Me standing in banner in the maritime conference. Then I must say this is the very important picture also about Teams meeting with one of the Finnish company who is operating in Zambia, and they are consulting entrepreneurs who wants to enter to Zambian market. Here you can see the representative from the company, Janne Sykkö, and some of the Estonian people, and one Zambian guy also. What kind of companies did we have on this project or with us in Estonian part? Some of them were growing and recruitment companies. Some of them were IT and data solution like smart port, some of the finance solutions, green energy, sustainable energy, small craft building services, and one of them were like one startup company. What are the highlights of the project? One sale was done by Sonoran Energy. I think it was engine start module to Namibian port. And one joint venture, not growing. The joint venture was set up in Namibia to recruit German-speaking workers to Namibian markets. And still one pending transaction, Uniflex System, they are selling finance software. So I know that they have hired one salesman in Zambian market and local salesman. And let's see what success they will have in Zambian market. I hope they are going well there. Here I put some websites of the Estonian companies that you can read from their website what they are doing or what are the services or products. And here is one product what we introduced in 2019 in Estonia when the Namibian delegations came to Estonia. Here are some pictures and also YouTube video, but you can see the YouTube video yourself because we don't have the time to look it right now. Yes, that's all from me. I must say to the end that we have had really bad times during the 2 years, but I must say that the export is definitely will pay off when it's successful, and you are interested in some markets. You must have the time and the opportunities to go to this market, and then it will pay off. Thank you.
Thank you, Erko. And we continue for the Finnish partners of Prizztech. Matti.
Thank you, Minna. Good morning, everybody. My name is Matti Luhtanen, and I'm coming from the company called Prizztech, which is a business development company located here in Satakunta area. And we are owned by the municipalities of Satakunta region. And let's say so that our target is to improve the business life here in Satakunta area. And one thing I need to mention in the very beginning that it's very important that we do really close operation with Satakunta University Applied Sciences, because that's together we are stronger, and that's the name of my presentation as well. So far we have heard a lot of discussion about the project overall, and I would like to emphasize the role of the people, like Minna already said, that doing business together is so that I think that when you are doing business with somebody, you will do it with your friends. So close contact is very important, and in this process, especially the already built up relationship between Satakunta University of Applied Sciences and Namibia local partners there, that has been the key to this successful project overall. I have been involved in all the business trips to Namibia, and the role of Prizztech in the very beginning was provide some kind of maritime expertise. At least that was in the project application or project application. Okay, Prizztech has been the best partner to Finnish companies because we had the budget for the traveling, and the very key role was this, that we were dealing with small and mid-sized enterprises. So the grant that this project could have offered to the companies, it was a really big role that we had at least 18 companies involved in our project overall. In the first trip we went, it was a trip for the partners. So we make this kind of seeking information and try to see what is the Namibia, and like Dainis showed those pictures in his presentation. So that was the first time ever for me visiting Namibia in spring 2018. And when I was thinking about this presentation, I was wondering, is it so many years ago? 2018. So this still remember all those things what we did in that first trip. And one thing, of course, because we were able to visit the Namibia first, and then after that we tried to reach the Finnish companies from our side to promote this project. And let's say so that it was quite easy to get involved into the business or companies because I have seen it my own eyes. So it's much easier to sell something to people when you can tell your own story behind that. So during this project, Prizztech has providing coaching to the Finnish companies. So I have visited a number of companies, and we have been discussing about the overall situation in the SADC area, this South African Development Community, or the Southern Africa. And between the trips, let's say at weekly basis, I check from the internet what is happening in Namibia, the Namibian.com and Lusaka News and everything like that. So my interest to see and learn more about this area was increased a lot when I was visiting there. So basically in those coaching moments, we shared country-specific information, of course, and the market situation. And then one excellent thing what we did in those business delegation trip was those business meetings and seminars we had in those meetings. And if I go to the last slide, so the highlights of the project, I think that those business delegation trips was the best part of this project overall. So in our first trip, and then of course I need to mention these local partners in both in Namibia, South Africa and Zambia. For instance, this Walvisburg Corridor Group and the local Namibian Chamber of Commerce and Namibian University of Science and Technology, NUST we called it. And because it was very easy when we first went to Namibia, I was really amazed that all doors were open to us. And that was because of the relationship SAMP has already built up in that area. And that the reason that let's say so that the 4 trips we made, and I think it was the third one when we visited all 3, or at least myself visited 3 countries, Namibia, South Africa and Zambia. And we have those seminars, business seminars in different locations, and a number of local companies which were taking part in those meetings, and that was something that was very easy to companies to just we gave them those contacts, and that was I think the beauty of this project. And then of course together with Dainis and Heikki and myself, we were driving in Namibia and trying to learn about things, what is happening there. So it's a little bit sad that we couldn't make those 2 extra trips what we were planning to do because of this pandemic, COVID overall. And that is, and then of course I need to mention this role of the Finnish embassies both in Namibia and Zambia. In the very first visit, we visited Finnish embassy in Windhoek, and then of course this Team Finland, who was also in the big role in those visits. And in Zambia, we had a first business week of Finnish business week in Zambia, and there were 20 companies from Finland, and 10 of those were from our project. So half of the amount of companies were brought to Zambia through this project. And the ambassador of Zambia, Finnish ambassador from Zambia, said that was the biggest business delegation ever visiting Zambia at that time. So great things has happened, and hopefully some kind of continuation to this project and this work will take place sometimes. But let's see how it goes. Sad to say, but this is the case at the moment. But personally, I think that I definitely need to go there, visit my friends in Namibia sometimes. Okay, no tears, no nothing. That's it. Thank you. Saako sitä laittaa pois päältä?
Thank you, Matti.
Thank you.
Continue some presentation. And before I go to my presentation on SAMK as a lead partner, so we have had various roles, of course, just picking up from Matti's presentation that one of the really highlights of the project is for Zambia. So just remembering that we started with Namibia and South Africa for the maritime cluster, and then companies insisted that Zambia would be very potential for the markets. And then there's really a great success case. So there's company called, nowadays they are BioSorbio. So actually they met the president of Zambia in this agricultural fair, and they have started their own factory in Zambia. So not just selling some product, some service, but actually starting business, starting a real factory, also employing the local people. So if I have to pick up one of the success cases for the SME Aisle, it's definitely this BioSorbio case for the Zambia. So why I'm also highlighting this, that you always have the great plans and exact steps for the project, but it's also very important to listen your target groups and behave accordingly to reach the best results. But okay, let's go to the aspects of Satakunta University of Applied Sciences, what we have been doing in the project. And very shortly, as also other partners has been presenting who they are. So Satakunta University of Applied Sciences, we are internationally oriented institution of higher education, and we are doing also research work. And something that has happened also during the SME Aisle process is that Maritime Logistics Research Center started officially last year. So as many of you know, we have a history of 142 years of training the sailors and a very wide global network on the maritime sector. And we have a really broad expertise related for the SME Aisle themes, but I was just highlighting in the aspect of future some of those, so maritime sector, shipbuilding, automation and ICT. And as Matti was also mentioning, that definitely one of the reasons behind for the success of the SME Aisle is that actually there has been more than 10 years of cooperation from Rauma to Namibia. And I think Heikki Koivisto will present the different steps later on, but there's been various projects on maritime training. And then we continued to urban development, where we had also Finnish companies involved and working with the logistical aspects. And then SME Aisle project has been the first for Namibia, where we are having the business cooperation and also our partners from Sweden, Estonia and Latvia. And I must mention also that we have not just Namibia, but very close cooperation also to South Africa, and also having projects there. And for us, it's rather interesting that usually you think that the cooperation starts with the education or some research, but very shortly I'm always think that it's really interesting that the Namibia case started from business. So the research vessel Mirabilis was built at the Rauma shipyard, that actually I can see from the window, so it's like less than 1 kilometer from here. So So you might think it's always a kind of straightforward, having education, research, maybe some business, but here we have the circle that is going around in various ways. But for the SME Aisle project, we have been the main writer of the application and all this management work from the project idea to success. So there's been a lot of leading activities. I always say it's a bit boring management work, but we have to highlight that we are getting finances from the European Union, from the Interreg Central Baltic. So that's always the basis of good project, that the management is held and managed in a feasible way. But there's been various activities that we have been leading, as I mentioned in my previous presentation. So the market analysis, market entry modes, various feasibility studies, and the ePlatform. So we have been coordinating the work, and the ePlatform is also located in our servers for the future. So the ePlatform is not just stop working, but actually it's a kind of the beginning after the project is ending. And we have had, as many other speakers today have said, various events. So I can't even count how many official events we have had so far, and also kind of so-called side events that where SME Aisle and our nice roll-up has been presented. So especially in Finland and Sweden, but in the whole Central Baltic area. And huge work. It's really amazing that I agree that the delegations have been really key for the success, as Matti was saying, but it's also a huge amount of work that interlinks for these delegations. So we totally had 4 delegations in the project, starting with the project partners, and then 3 with the companies. And it's not just that you are traveling to the Southern African markets, but it's all the practical details, starting from the visa processes, developing the program, communication of the companies, and so on. So not just SAMK, but the whole partner team. And one highlight definitely is also this business delegation from Namibia in November 2019. So from our team, Captain Heikki Koivisto was participating the whole trip. So we were going all the countries, so Finland, Sweden, Estonia and Latvia, with various activities in each of the countries. And we have also had the role for supporting the company. So as Matti was saying, that most of the travel money being in Prizztech budget, but we have been also communicating with the Finnish maritime cluster. And then in this project we didn't have a Swedish partner, so SAMK was also covering the Swedish small and medium-sized enterprises. And with the companies, it's really, again, everyday work. So it's the support all the time, especially before, during and after the business delegations, different coaching activities. So coaching might sound really amazing and something, but coaching can be that you are making a phone call and asking, how are you doing? Are you still interested on the business? So start from the small communication activities. And here on this slide it's also listed that we had also Swedish companies with us in the delegations, and also Ion Sigma is a company who got actually sales for Zambia. So that's very shortly the journey of many years we have had at SAMK as a lead partner with our great partners. And We are heading next to the presenting of the SME Aisle platform, launching it by Nina Savela. But we have some time, so asking from the audience or from the online participants. So do you have some questions or comments? So you can raise your hand in the online format, or you can open the mic. We are not that many online, so is there anything to add or any questions so far? Yeah, please, Erko.
Will be there SME Aisle 2 project?
Yeah, I think there will not be SME Aisle 2 project, because as we know that there is no need for continuing the same thing, but doing things even better and going further. So we were really unfortunate in that sense that COVID hit us hard, and we were, in that sense, we were actually also quite lucky that we were supposed to have this very big delegation in March, April 2020, and actually one company even ended up to South Africa. So it was like a business class ticket, 2,000 euros that the person made back to the Central Baltic area. But in a way I'm feeling again like lucky that we didn't end up there with all the partners and the delegation. So we have been working on this online mode for like 2 years now. So things have been a bit delayed, as many partners have been saying, but there's still the potential. Definitely Africa, it's a huge continent, but also Southern African markets, there's really the huge potential for the business. So definitely, if there's financing available for example, from the European Union and, for example, Interreg Central Baltic, I think we should seek the opportunities for the next project. But it's not going to be SME Aisle number 2. It can be SME window or something, as we have been discussing with Captain Heikki. So, but there has to be fresh minds taking into account the current situation globally, and also that what are the new opportunities. So our starting point has been Namibia, and that has been kind of the strongest, but there are so many other countries. So reaching to South Africa, reaching to Zambia, but as also Jekaterina was showing that there's high interest also from the other African countries for the Central Baltic area. So opportunities are huge, but then we have to also concentrate for the most potential and those things that are highest interest of the companies. So as nobody in SME Aisle project has been doing things for ourselves, but it has been really for the companies in the Central Baltic area, for the business, for the cooperation. Are there some other questions or comments? I can see from the chat, Marika Seppälä from SAMK, who has been our boss for the SME Aisle, is saying, thank you SAMK team for great coordination and project partners and stakeholders for great cooperation in the project. So thank you, Marika, for supporting us in practical things at SAMK also in many ways. Any other comments? I'm throwing the ball to Heikki, who is a veteran in cooperation, 10 years. So how do you see the future?
Well, what I've been talking with some of the companies, I can really see that there's interest to continue the cooperation to SADC area. And in my presentation afternoon, I will highlight some possible business possibilities and new plans. And I have a small hint already that there will be some own cost delegation going on fall to at least to Namibia, maybe also to South Africa. So that's in the horizon. Thank you.
Thanks, Heikki. I don't see in Teams any questions more, so we are a bit ahead of the schedule, but I think we can continue with the SME Aisle ePlatform presentation and launching the platform formally. So after Nina's presentation, I think we can have a bit longer lunch break. Or we might have so much of discussion that that the event will be very long with the lunch break. But let's continue with Nina's presentation, and then the next session will start any case at noon. So Nina, please.
Thank you, Minna, and ladies and gentlemen, partners, colleagues, and online crowd, so to say. I'm Nina Savela, and I have been in part of this project almost since the beginning, from 2018. And in my presentation, I'll give you an overview of our new ePlatform, and maybe give a more kind of like a in-depth understanding for you what is SME Aisle concept. We have had quite many nice presentations here presenting our success and partner cooperation and so on, but I want to give you an overview, like in 3 different points, what the concept is. And first, let's start about our cooperation, especially in Namibia. And as you already heard, it started in 2012. What this means in practice is that we have had thousands of meetings, at least tens of delegation trips or so, informal discussions, and so on. As our partnership has developed over the years, we have gained such a knowledge that it is not easy to find, for example, online. We have had extensive research work, thesis workers throughout our projects at SAMK. For example, I used to be a thesis worker back in the days, in 2016 to 2017. Studies and desktop work also we have had. So we can kind of say that the ePlatform development already began when this project began, by doing the research, the work. But the actual conceptualization of the platform itself began in 2019. All our partners were a part of the development actively. We had weekly meetings, unfortunately online, because, well, as you already heard and you know, COVID-19 hit us also quite hard. This also highlights the importance of the ePlatform because of the new global situation we have had since these 2 years. So I hope that all the participants now are asking what the ePlatform is. To be quite short, it's an open online platform. This means that you're all able to access it via internet, so to say. In the platform, information is shared, especially from Central Baltic countries, which means that there's information on Finland, Sweden, Latvia and Estonia. We have also included quite an extensive package of the Southern African Development Community countries in the platform. This e-platform is especially for companies, but also for other business support organizations, governmental and non-governmental stakeholders. Yes. And it was already highlighted in Minna's presentation in the beginning that we have had certain themes throughout the project. And here you can see the list of themes. And the reason behind of these particular themes is that we are seeing quite a nice potential in these sectors when it comes to SADC markets, especially. Of course, we'll highlight the doing business element, especially on the platform. This means that you'll find up-to-date information on how to start a business in a certain country, what kind of, for example, the paperwork is, what kind of cultural aspects do you need to consider when entering the market, and so on. The strength and the most important thing for this e-platform is that it provides all information under one platform. As I will be discussing later, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises, it's not always, so to say, resource-wise to start looking for information. It takes time and, well, yeah, human capacity, so to say. So finding all this information that you can start your business or you get your first steps in starting the business. So finding all that information on one platform will save you time and money. I'm repeating quite many things that Minna already told, but just to highlight the aspect that although unfortunately the project is ending, the e-platform will continue its life for years. Okay, then going to the SME Aisle concept. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, I'll give you 3 highlights of the concept. What has made our project so successful and what we have emphasized in our work throughout these years, starting from 2018. Cross-border cooperation. So to give you an example, in 2019 we had 31 companies with us, especially SMEs with us. And we went to 3 different countries, having these 31 companies with us, which was a massive thing to organize, but very fruitful. And during this delegation trip, we noticed that as there were SMEs coming from Finland, Sweden, Latvia and Estonia, they even found some synergy between them. So I personally at least saw that there were Latvian and Swedish SMEs discussing with each other and having that conversation on how to proceed together, how to find a common interest. And this has been a very huge strength in our project, and if we think about the concept itself. Related to the slide before this slide, clusters also have been very important for us. So not only the cross-border cooperation between countries, but cooperation inside the clusters. So if we, for example, think about the renewable energy sector, there are companies that offering material solutions, for example, solar panels. But then there might be companies offering consultancy or other like non-material services. Sometimes the case is that these different SMEs are complementing each other during when entering the market. And for us, this is always the case where we save money, of course, when we find this connection and again synergy. Throughout our project, we have offered the SMEs non-financial support, so information and data, and coaching procedures, as Minna mentioned. The connections and networks have been very important, and that will be the next slide. And Matti from Prizztech already mentioned in his presentation how important it has been to have those already built connections and networks. And of course, the SMEs who have participated in our project have gained small financial support in order to have the possibility to travel to these countries, because unfortunately it's still very important to travel on site and meet the potential customers and stakeholders face to face. And the final point, and probably the most important one, existing networks. And as SAMK has had cooperation of several years in Namibia, we know the market very well. We have strong connections, networks to all possible stakeholders there in different sectors. I think I'm repeating myself quite many times when I'm saying that this saves us money and resources, but it's important in business to save money and resources in order to gain money and resources. We didn't need to start from the scratch. We could immediately point out what were the best contacts for certain companies, especially having the contact of WhatsApping the people on the target markets, or having that kind of hotline, so to say. We didn't need to wait for the emails or spend time in finding the right person from an organization. So those were the three main points that altogether build the SME Aisle concept. And in this table, you can maybe see some challenges that the SMEs are facing when targeting, especially to like further markets in which they have distance physically and psychologically. Back in 2019, we did research research on the challenges and possible solutions for the SMEs when they are entering the market in cooperation with Prizztech especially and other partners. And these were some of the challenges we found. And if we want to find specific themes here, usually it's related to limited resources of the businesses. And limited resources of the businesses, monetary and non-monetary way. And the SME Aisle concept answers to some of these challenges here. And if we think about the ePlatform and ePlatform development in the project, you can also notice that the ePlatform itself supports quite many answers or solutions that the project itself is answering and giving solutions. So in a way, the ePlatform especially concentrates on the evaluation of the market and needs, gives information, market studies and so on, and supporting material to the companies. And of course, it's a forum for all those stakeholders interested in the market. And last but not least, some challenges identified especially when it comes to information. I already mentioned that understanding one's culture and social differences, and especially when doing business, is very important to the potential SMEs targeting the new markets, especially if they're very far away from your home market, so to say. Resources were already mentioned. No time, no money to dig deeper into the market. And as we live in the world with a lot of information, sometimes it might be very hard to evaluate this information in a critical way. Which are the websites that we can rely on and so on. And what I learned during my thesis work back in 2016, not all information is found online. So I actually went to Namibia for 3 months and found information going to different places, even though I didn't have a car. But that somehow gave me the realistic view of how the information is found. It's not, in many cases, digital these days, especially when it comes to Southern African countries. So having this kind of platform where you can find this kind of information also is valuable. Okay, next we'll have a short sneak peek of the ePlatform for now. Okay, so this is the main view of our new ePlatform. So as you can see, it's very easy to navigate. You can either use these links above or then choose a country or choose a theme. And in the end, you will find all the research data we have managed to collect during this project and the projects before. So quite an extensive package of data. Here are the themes we already discussed. information on Southern African countries as well as the Central Baltic countries. We also wanted to share the SME Aisle project information and story, the respected partners, our success stories throughout these years, which are very interesting for the reader to get a view how some of the companies succeeded in their businesses. All the video material available and open to all. The extensive amount of publications and blog posts, and at least for now the social media feed. And if we quickly see the view of Central Baltic area, and I personally want to thank all the partners for their work when we built the ePlatform, because you are the best experts of your respective countries. So we have managed to gain quite a nice package of interesting information. And all the teams of SME Aisle are presented for each country, as well as the doing business elements, so to say. Everything on one page, and by clicking different links you can easily navigate throughout the information. And the Southern African markets, just to give an overview. And so on. So as Minna mentioned previously, this ePlatform will now be published, or what's the even more formal word for that, launched. And after that it will be available for all. We will share the link on social media so you won't miss it. That's my presentation, and if you don't have any questions, we can proceed to...
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So, what do you think that has been the most successful part of building up the ePlatform? What has been the best part of building this kind of ePlatform?
The first thing that comes into my mind is the cooperation part. So getting all the information and working together as a whole team of partners coming from different places. I think that has been one, and maybe the other part for me personally has been the kind of like understanding how much good information we have in the project, and now we have a place to share it to everybody. So it's not only information that's in our heads, so to say. Now it's out there, and I really hope that this is useful for all companies or other stakeholders who feel the interest in finding partnerships and business in these areas. Very nice questions. Thank you, Minna. So next we will ask you a couple of questions, and we are using the Mentimeter program. And on screen you may find the instructions how to access the application. You can either use your computer or then your mobile phone. So first of all, go to menti.com and enter the code which is presented here. Or if you're very tech-wise, use the QR code on the screen. And we can take a couple of minutes so you'll have time to access the Mentimeter. So whenever you're ready, you can press the heart icon on the screen. Yes, very nice.
Nice.
Yes. We're starting to be ready. I will present you the first question of our Mentimeter. I hope you're ready.
Yes.
So the question number 1. This is kind of like a warm-up question for you to get to know the system, the Mentimeter, and how it operates. So please tell us from which country you're from at the moment. And you might notice that there are some couple of slots there. So if you wish to put more answers than just one, please do so. Okay, and I can see that most of the participants seem to be from Finland, but we also have participants from Namibia, yes, and Estonia and Latvia. And Latvia is also well represented. Okay, I hope you all have time to answer to this warm-up question. Yes. So the next question is the real one. It's the real deal. So describe in words what is your first impression of the ePlatform. Yes, so interesting and important. Very good. Clear. That's a very good feedback of the ePlatform. Informative, yes. Amazing and great and encouraging. I'm very glad if somebody's feeling that this is an encouraging platform.
Checkbot. We'll use that in the marketing.
Helpful and looking good. Excellent. Thank you for the feedback. And I think this is all from me now. And next we'll have a lunch break and we'll continue the program at 12 o'clock Finnish time. Thank you.